I think I'd go very opportunistic today, but I would open up the investment spectrum very largely. I'd bank on mispriced risk aversion. We've talked about the UK regions. We've talked about. I think there are interesting things to do on the development side in France too, and I agree with your coastal view of where things could be happening. Prime and secondary, that's something that could actually bring nice opportunities. And I'd look at Italy. We haven't talked a lot about Italy, but this is certainly an area where I think a lot of things may happen in the future, and starting with 2013. So opportunistic and benefiting from those three main themes.
Okay, good, thank you.
Problem is I have 600 million, so and it's an office fund for Paris. So no, I think office is going to be really, really interesting. 2013 may be too short, but I think the divergence of values in between cash flow. I think the perception, the arbitrage is the perception of leasing risk. Sometimes is way too high, and this is where you need to go. And if you can, build something that's modern, exciting, sexy, I think you'll outperform the leasing market. So I think there's a lot of money to be made in the office sector on the development, redevelopment side.
Great.
I think what Stéphane said about the listed sector is really interesting because, in fact, at the moment there is a huge discount, and especially most of these property companies are very well managed. So there is room for investment there, definitely. And when we have seen recently on the Gecina transaction with Caisse des Dépôts du Québec and Blackstone, it was very interesting, even it was a very specific situation there. But there is no doubt that other specific situations will occur in the future on this sector. That can be on especially big company, listed property company, but it can be also consolidation on the smallest company, because we have not seen so much so far. And we have a good feeling on that should occur, not necessarily in the short term, especially in the 6 coming months, but probably the next 18 or 24 months. So I think there is a very interesting thing to do there, and especially with this big money, because 500 million euro is quite important. It's really, I think if you have that type of money, it's really interesting to do a transaction or listed property company, more than especially trying to buy a very, very big asset somewhere in Paris or wherever.
Okay, great, thank you. Kai.
Well, first of all, thank you for the 500 million. And I would really take good care of your money. I would split it up and I would invest it in a country that has a GDP growth, that has a low unemployment rate, consumers being very positive about the future. Just guess where it is. No, I invested in Germany, and I would split it in two proportions. Actually, one which is stable. Just stable one, so protection. I would invest a third in residential in Germany, which is really a stable situation. The demographics in Germany are going down, but the number of households in Germany are going to rise up to 2030. So the number of apartments being needed still rises, and there's a low supply in new products being on the market. So 1/3 would go into residential. And each 1/3 would go into healthcare and into regional office markets. They're on one side stable. We didn't touch healthcare so far, but in Germany this is a market which is also by demographics. Germans are just getting older and older, and this area is some kind of not matured market right now. So you have in these two sectors like regional prosperous cities, office markets, and on the other side healthcare, so nursing homes, and on the other side also student housing is something which is very interesting in Germany at the moment. So we have the stability of residential on 1/3 of the investment, and the stability and upside by maturing markets in healthcare and in regional office markets in Germany. So I think your money is well invested.
Good, thank you. Olivier, what's your view?
Okay. Well, I think that if I was an opportunistic investor, I would look at mainly three themes. The first one is buy cheap. The second one is operational assets, trading market risk for operational assets. And third one would be create core, restore properties to core. So the first one, for example, buy cheap would be, as Mehdi said, overlooked assets. Maybe logistics is one of them, but you need to be a specialist to invest in logistics. Then, when you're in a market that is where growth is not coming, where there is no, I would say, macroeconomic growth story, it's interesting to be, as Stefan said, in hotels because you have some, how would I say that, some control. You can create growth by taking some good decisions. And the third one, create core, could be, for example, we hear a lot of stories about conversion of offices into residential in Paris.
Great, thank you. And finally, Nicola.
Yeah, I'm very, very quick. What I would like to do if I had 500 million, I would say I would try to follow the tenant where they go. Ideally, where a tenant would like to go today, I would say you would look for a building who would be very efficient and who would be the nearest it is possible to the Arc de Triomphe or the, let's say, Golden Triangle or CBD district. And all this, but with a reasonable rental level. So it's not going to be a building which is big, brand new in Avenue Georges V, but I think it is going to be more a building which might be located in this area, can be like Boulogne or Les Batignolles, the 17th district, or Paris Gauche. In other words, location where you have white colors, which are very quickly and easy access, both in terms of common transport and in terms of private transport, but above all, with reasonable rental level and efficiency in terms of building and also environmental quality. And on top of this, with a bit of potential added value, since we are short in terms of forward sale, in terms of future new supply and efficient supply, there is a little risk to take on this type of building, but we're sure that within the coming years, and let's say even 18 months, this building should be the one where tenants would come. I don't want to have the last word.
That's great. Thank you very much to everybody for coming, and thank you to the panel. Thank you.